Most people are aware of Hulk Hogan's biggest lawsuit that would lead to the end of Gawker Media. But long before that, Hogan was in a legal battle that could have put the entire future of the business and the success of its biggest event in massive jeopardy. Professional wrestling was on the cusp of a revolution. Vince McMahon's World Wrestling Federation was transforming the industry from a regional sideshow into a national phenomenon. Central to this transformation was Hulk Hogan, the WWF's charismatic champion, whose larger-than-life persona embodied the era's blend of athleticism and entertainment. Hogan, along with celebrities like Mr. T, were key figures in McMahon's strategy to elevate wrestling into mainstream entertainment. At the same time, kayfabe was still fiercely protected. Wrestlers were expected to uphold this pretense, even outside the ring, to preserve the mystique of the sport. This was a sensitive topic, especially when challenged by outsiders like Richard Belzer, a comedian and host of the talk show Hot Properties. You may know him better as Detective John Munch from Law & Order these days. But back in the day, he was known for a type of humor that Bill Maher is known for today, and a history of questioning wrestling's legitimacy, much to the distaste of its performers and promoters. On a night in March 1985, these worlds collided in a live broadcast that would leave Belzer hospitalized, Hogan apologetic, and the public questioning the boundaries between scripted entertainment and real danger. The incident, which occurred just days before Wrestlemania 1, would become a defining moment in wrestling history, raising issues that continue to resonate today. This environment was quite a tense one.
Now, for those who don't know, Hulk Hogan, this wrestler person, was on my talk show. I had a show called Hot Properties. We're supposed to have on what's hot, what's not, or whatever. So someone on my staff, I shouldn't say my staff, it's a little presumptuous of me, someone who worked for me, who I could fire, came up to me and they said, we can get Hulk Hogan and Mr. T on the show because of Wrestlemania. I said, yeah, good. Wrestlemania, yeah, good. No, they said, no, it'd be great for the ratings. I said, well, then good.
And there was even more being piled onto this meeting on the day that it was to take place. Adding to this strange setting is a bizarre detail from Belzer that would be echoed by Mr. T during the television segment. He claimed that Mr. T's team had demanded 50 children, some crippled, be in the audience hours before the show.
Okay, so we found out a few minutes later that Mr. T's people said that Mr. T will not come down to the show unless there's 50 kids in the audience. So I said, oh, shit. So I said, all right, let's go get a school bus, go down there and throw some Hot Properties t-shirts on these kids, sedate them, put them on the bus, bring them back here, put them in the audience. I mean, I love kids, but I love ratings too, ladies and gentlemen, you know? Let's be honest about this. So I'm in my dressing room, and this person that works for Mr. T comes up to me in my dressing room before the show, before Mr. T gets there, and says, Mr. Belzer, we're kind of walking on eggshells around Mr. T today because he's in a bad mood. He's in a bad mood. Ethiopia's in a bad mood, you know what I'm saying? This guy makes $3 million a year, and he's in a bad fucking mood? Give me a personal break, will you? To myself, I said that. I said that to myself.
While this request was likely intended to create a sympathetic atmosphere, it added to the already tense environment. Mr. T, who remained largely silent during the segment, was likely aiming for a much different outcome than what was to come.
A few minutes goes by, Mr. T comes in. He's got his gold on, his mohawk, and he's got his jumpsuit on, and he's got a baton with a spring in it. It comes in like this. The most menacing, the most terrifying. This guy's like a fire hydrant from Mars. Who is this guy? Not of this earth. Just comes in, and he's real intimidating, and everyone's scared of him, and he's real encoded. Hey, where's my letter? Where's my letter? Where's my letter? And then his interpreter said he's saying, where's my dressing room? Where's my dressing room? I didn't know him. Well, Mr. T, welcome, to the show. We got the kids here. I'm glad you could do it. Okay, where's my letter? Back there. So I started to talk like it's back there. So he went back there pumping the thing. A few minutes goes by, the Hulk comes in. Now this guy, the Hulk, is 6'7". He weighs 339 pounds. Hey, dude, how you doing, dude? What do I have, a hat on and land in Colorado? Or the fucking dude? What are you talking to? Myself, I said that. I said, how are you, Hulk person? Said, you're a real funny dude. I like you, dude. I want to be in your next movie. Yeah, I go to the fucking studio and I'll co-star with you. Right, sure, right, great.
The stage was set on the late-night talk show where Hogan and Mr. T appeared to promote WrestleMania 1. The event was a high-stakes gamble for McMahon, who had invested heavily in a celebrity-driven spectacle to launch the WWF into the mainstream. Hogan and Mr. T, fresh off their media tour, were tasked with hyping up the upcoming main event bout against Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff. Belzer, ever the provocateur, saw an opportunity to probe the authenticity of wrestling.
There. Okay, the show's gonna begin now, right? Come out, do the warm-ups, ladies and gentlemen, hot properties. We got the 50 sedated kids in the audience. We got these 2 repressed gay guys backstage who are afraid of men and women. They'll be on in a second. Now we have a great show. Okay, come out. First guest, Mr. T comes out. Got the baton on camera now. Doing this on camera. Go, sit down next to me. You sit in the chair. And we're on the air now. And me, like an asshole, I tried to talk to him. So I was trying to be nice, one-word answers, grunts, groans, he's misogynistic, he's racist, he's everything. And I look at him and I say, well, I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt because if a guy looks that severe, maybe he's compensating for something. Maybe, he had some story about his... No, he's an asshole. He's a fucking asshole. Some people are just assholes. I'm sorry.
So when you go to a wrestling match, you go to cheer the good guy and boo the bad guy. If more people get into wrestling, that means they won't have to go home and beat up the wife and kid. It's a pressure releaser.
Right, I agree.
Let loose your anxieties.
Are there any rules to the wrestling that you have to abide by?
No, I don't play by the rules.
There's no rules at all?
No rules.
So how did you meet him?
We met when we did Rocky 3. Did you see Rocky 3?
I sure did. You think I would not see it when you're going to be a guest here? Ha 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 ha. Thank you. I don't have to change character. We're back with the I was going to say one and only, with the one and only Mr. T and me, Mr. B. So let's take some calls. Hello, you're on the air.
Hi, Richard.
Hi.
My name is Stephanie, and I'm calling from Portland, Oregon.
How are you, Stephanie?
Fine, thanks. And I have a question for Mr. T.
Okay.
I heard him say in an interview once that women don't like him. And I was wondering if that is still true, and if he does find it difficult to have a relationship with a woman or women.
That's a good question. If it was addressed to me, it would be a good question.
One thing that makes Mr. T what I am, because I'm very controversial, very outspoken, you got to understand, with Mr. T being as hot as I am, that's so easy to get something started out with my name in it. I don't know where the lady heard that from, Some questions I just refuse to even answer because it's so stupid. I've been training. It wasn't my idea to come do the show. I'm going to tell you why I was here. They told me there'd be... I didn't come here definitely because you're paying me a lot of money. I came here because they told me there'd be some sick kids in the audience, and they know I have a weak spot for kids, so I've been very tired. We've been training, me and the Hawk been choking each other, throwing each other off the ring, into the ring posts, figure 4 leg locks and all that. It's not easy lifting up a man 305 pounds. It's not easy at all, and have the guy choke you all night long. That's why I'm hoarse. I'm wearing the gloves because I've been training. I done told the clown that we was in Central Park riding on the subway, so we've been throwing rocks at the mothers that wanted to get away from us,
The city must be safer since you've been training.
You better believe it.
Probably is.
I asked him, he said, all men in New York are wimps. All men in New York. Like every man in New York is a wimp, He said, I had to go on the subway there. I beat up 3 muggers. I said, yeah, babe, sure you did. Right.
Me and Hulk Hogan, we've been riding the subway looking for muggers. This ain't no joke.
Well, I find it amusing.
We're trying to do New York a favor because New York have a problem. New York don't have enough men in the city. They got a lot of whips. You guys go down there. Let me explain what a whip is.
Please do.
A whip is these guys run around here figure that they are a man because they can get a woman pregnant. That they are a man because they can go to a gym and lift 300 or 400 pounds. To me, that man's the sissy. That allows his wife to be afraid to walk the streets. My mother or my daughters will never be afraid to walk anywhere as long as I'm alive. I say that man is the whip that allows they loved ones, they can't come outside and play. Where are the men in the city that allow this stuff to go on like this here? So me and Hawk, we got a train in Central Park looking for muggers, run around in the bushes and everything, We beating up guys left and right. This ain't no joke, man. It's serious business.
to myself. Oh, that's good. I'm glad you're cleaning up the subway there. That's really nice of you. Then I said a word like exclaim. So I don't know that word. I'm from the street. I said, well, I'm from the street too, and I learned the word. And then I said out loud. I said that out loud. And the audience went, whoa. And he started pumping the thing a little more. And smoke started coming out of the baton. His hair stood more on end. He started remembering Farrakhan's speeches. You know, he was going crazy there.
Now, isn't that antithetical to your image, all that violence?
Well, you use a big word. See, Mr. T.
Antithetical means opposite. Forgive me.
Right. I'm a street brother. That's why the kids.
Well, I'm from the street too.
That's why the kids.
I learned that word myself.
The kids relate to me because I'm not a phony.
I'm not
a lot of guys that try to use big words and whatnot. I use this and that, whatnot, in plain, simple English.
Okay.
So everybody can understand me.
Right.
That even the fool can understand me. The winos, the junkies. I go down. I go to Harlem. I go where the brothers hang out on the street. Things like that.
Okay.
I don't isolate myself.
All right.
But the kids. Every child knows. It's the adults that are the problem. And I say this here all over the world. I don't believe there's a child in the world that hate Mr. T. White, black,
no,
blue.
Let me interrupt you.
I'm making a statement.
I know you're making a statement, but you're not answering my question.
I'm getting around to that, brother. I'm getting around to that, you know.
All right. I'm glad we're brothers.
You know, yeah, we are brothers.
I mean that.
All right.
Okay.
I'm getting around, like I said. You know, white, black, blue, or green. There's no child that hate Mr. T. If he do, it's because his parent tell him. You know, kids don't know nothing about racial prejudice or hatred or the ugliness of jealousy, you know. So therefore, kids understand this is a TV show.
Right.
They know. Any fool know that if I was hitting guys with my rings, there'd be blood everywhere.
Right.
You know, this is an entertainment show.
So it's cartoon violence.
We don't kill nobody.
Right.
No, there's no violence, period. But I'll tell you what. See, you know what time when the show first came on the air, Mr. T used to go around saying, no, the show ain't violent, this and that. Yes, the show is violent. I love to kill. The man hired me for one reason, because I kick butt. I'm the best butt kicker on TV. I didn't audition. I say 3 words an hour. I'm the highest paid guy in Hollywood. I say, shut up, fool. You know, and I make 3 or 4 million a year for that.
Okay, cool, fool. We got to go to commercial. We'll be right back.
What'd you call me?
Mr. T. We'll be right back.
So we go to commercial. And I lean over to him. I say, Mr. T, babe, relax. He goes, I'm in character. He's in character.
Take me to Hagen fucking prison right now.
So you chose to be this obnoxious, repugnant, racist, bullying jerk. Is that the idea? To myself, again, I said that. Then the Hulk comes out. Sits down and goes, I've been watching you backstage, dude. I've been watching you. You've been doing things to Mr. T. I don't like what you've been doing. You know, I told my man, Mr. T, not to hurt anybody, and you probably heard about that, and that's why you're getting him in so much trouble. Well, you know, wrestling's not fake. I'll tell you another thing about it. Started doing scat on my show. So I started trading fours with that, all in my mind, but it sounded like that.
Man, you know, I was listening to that monitor, brother, and the dude is a little cocky today, but I figured it out. You got a lot of brains because my man, Mr. T, we've been training all day long. He got me up at 5:30 this morning. We hit the iron. We ran up and down the subways in New York. And you know something?
What?
The reason you were so cocky is because Mr. T promised me he wouldn't lay a hand on anybody, even though you look like a mugger. You do look like a mugger, that little sadistic face and that criminal forehead. He promised me he wouldn't touch a man until March 31st. That's why I know you got a lot of brains, because you stayed a little far away from my man. T, I appreciate that. I don't want you busting anybody up until the 31st.
Ooh.
Now, mainly I didn't want to hurt the guy because of the kids is here. You know, I didn't want the kids to see that. You know, he did make me mad. You know, I get so tired of going on these shows, these interviewers, these reporters asking me stupid, dumb questions, telling my show is violent and all that mess. You know, the most violent show on TV is the 6 o'clock news.
Yeah.
During the interview, Belzer repeatedly goaded Hogan to demonstrate a wrestling hold, a request that Hogan initially resisted. However, encouraged by Belzer's persistence and the audience's enthusiasm, Hogan held firm. Mr. T would hold that stance as well, but there came a point where, after questioning Hogan's ability to switch from a bad guy to a good guy, Hogan began to have his fill.
You used to be a bad guy in the wrestling world. Now you're a good guy. How did you make that switch?
Well, you know,
I mean, to me, you're a good guy all the time. But...
Well, you know, it's kind of hard to say. You know, when I came to the WWF World Wrestling Federation about 78, 79, I needed a little management, man. I was kind of new up here, and I didn't really know what was going on. So Mr. Fred Blassie offered me a lot of money if I'd do things his way. Well, you know, I'm still wrestling the same way. The fact that I started training, saying my prayers, and eating my vitamins, and I got rid of Freddie Blassie, that's what the people got off on, you know. I don't need his guidance anymore. The fact that I go in the ring, I try to wrestle fairly, but when somebody takes a cheap shot at me, I like to give them a little receipt, you know? It's kind of like do unto others before they do unto you. And that's what the people in New York City and all over the world get off on, man, because I'm a survivor, I take care of business, and the thing is, I fear no man.
I believe you.
Can you dig it?
I can.
Are
dig
you a man?
I can dig it twice.
Are you a man?
What do you think?
I really don't know.
You want to step outside? I'm just kidding. Why don't you guys? No. Why don't you guys? I want you to show me some.
No, we ain't showing you nothing.
Moves.
You didn't come here. You didn't come here to show no moves, man.
What?
You know, we didn't come
I'm
to show no
talking to
moves,
him,
you know.
man. Okay.
You want to see some moves? You buy your closed circuit ticket.
Squeal.
All right, we gonna show you. Oh, we gonna show you some moves.
Come on.
Elementary. Watch
We gonna show you some moves.
But this is where my lawyers say I have him, because Hulk leaned over to Mr. T just as he's crossing. He says, I want to make him squeal. If I had heard that, I would have been Ralph Cramden for a year. Humana, 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 humana. I didn't hear that. I go over with Hulk to the demonstration area.
And the two moved across the stage. The band would play the funeral march, of all things.
There's certain terminology in wrestling. For certain.
We gonna show you the body slam.
Take those glasses off.
We gonna show you the body slam.
Take off my glasses.
We gonna show you the peach squeak sandwich.
You just stay right there. Don't you come over here.
That's right.
Okay.
You know.
Now, the camel crusher. What's that?
Camel clutch. I don't
Camel
use
clutch.
that move because...
Well, show me one of the moves that you use. What's your famous move?
Well, I'm going to have to stick to the basics with you. The floor is a little hard here, and I don't want you getting hurt. There's something
Well, I don't want you
called,
getting hurt either, so, you know, be careful.
Yeah, you can apply, you know, nice and easy if you bend over.
No, sorry. I'm sorry.
No, that's
all right, okay.
Now, the first thing you need to know about amateur wrestling...
Yes?
Or professional wrestling or submission holds, you just tell me, brother, when you want him to quit squealing, okay?
All right.
It's called a front chin lock. How about it, T?
Keep like that for a little while. Because he's all right. He's just sleeping. He's sleeping. Really, I was a sleeper hole. He'll be all right.
So we go over to the so-called demonstration area, and he puts a chin lock on me. There's no such thing as a sleeper hold, because if there was a sleeper hold, there'd be no wrestling. One guy does the other guy, the match is over. So there's no sleeper hold, okay? Thank you. So then, he gets me in a chin lock, puts my head over here, and cuts off my oxygen, okay? It's funny now. And at the time, I thought it was check, please, on this life, okay? Waiter, can I get a tally? Because I want to leave the planet now, okay? I thought, you know, forget about it. I thought it was all over. And I tried to hit him, but I was dying. So, you can't throw a good right when you're fucking dead. That's one thing I learned. So he puts me to sleep, but then, the Harvard scientist that he is, he's not a wrestler because he flunked out of Harvard, I'll tell you that. He lets me go. And I'm already asleep, so I fall down. Boom, hit the back of my head, split my head open, blood gushing out. For some reason, I got up, and I said, we'll be right back. I don't know how I did that.
He's sleeping. Really, I was a sleeper hole. He'll be all right. He's waking up now. That was a serious move. A lot of people...
See? It works. All right, brother.
And now, we'll be right back after this word from you-know-who. We'll be right back.
Belzer collapsed backwards, his head striking the studio floor with a sickening crack. Blood pooled from a gash on his scalp, and the studio audience gasped in horror. Hogan, visibly shaken, attempted to maintain composure, but the damage was done. Belzer briefly regained consciousness, stood up, and in a moment of dazed professionalism, called for a commercial break before being rushed to the hospital. There, he received 9 stitches for the laceration and was treated for a minor spinal cord injury. The incident, captured live on television, would soon become a flashpoint in the ongoing debate over wrestling's legitimacy.
In the hospital in bed watching TV, and the news is on. I see Channel 2, Richard Belzer, boom, again I see it. Next channel, boom, again. Boom. Every channel, CNN, Belzer, boom. Was it real? Boom. Was it fake? Boom. I have more stitches. I fell out of bed every time. Boom.
The fallout from the incident was swift and far-reaching. In the days that followed, he filed a $5 million personal injury lawsuit against Hogan, Mr. T, Vince McMahon, and the WWF. The lawsuit cited the physical and emotional toll of the incident, with Belzer claiming that he had signaled to Hogan that he was suffocating, but Hogan had not noticed. The case was settled out of court in 1990. Belzer, in a move that would become part of the incident's lore, used the settlement's money to purchase a farmhouse in France.
He came very close to killing me. I was told by a sports medicine expert that if I had fallen a few inches either way, I could be crippled for life. I could have been dead. It's like a building coming up and hitting you in the head when you fall a dead weight like that. And I sued.
You settled out of court?
Well, I sued them, and it took years. I had to. America's a weird place. I mean, I'm not going to live in anywhere else, but the judicial system. You saw what he did on live television, right? I think I take the tape with my lawyer. I go to the judge. I say, babe, $5 million. No. His lawyer, I sued Mr. T, I sued Hulk Hogan, I sued Vince McMahon, I sued the World Wrestling Federation. I sued them all. And every one of their lawyers got to depose me. So for hours, for like 3 or 4 days, 6, 7 hours a day, they asked me questions like, did you smoke marijuana in 1953? I think I did. Did your wife post nude for Playboy? Did yours? Answer the question. It's like, they asked these questions that have nothing to do with what happened. So the trial was set for January 2nd, 1990. On December 29th, the last working day of the decade, my lawyers and his lawyers got together, or their lawyers, and they made an offer that I couldn't refuse.
It would have been a hell of a court appearance for all of it. You're going to have guys with feathers and stuff. It would have been wild.
And then that night I had a dream. I had another dream. Yeah, this one was 12 seconds. No, I had another dream that night that my first show back would be, down there, because my head was all split open. I thought I'd have like brain damage. And anyway, we sued him. He settled out of court just before we were going to go to court. And now I have a lovely home in France called the Hulk Hogan Arms.
So it's a significant settlement?
It's all gone, but it was significant.
Some viewers believe the fall was staged, giving Belzer's quick recovery to end this segment. However, the severity of his injuries and the subsequent lawsuit confirmed the reality of the situation. Ironically, the incident may have bolstered the WWF's narrative that wrestling required serious athleticism and was not fake in the way detractors claimed. The publicity surrounding the lawsuit and Belzer's injuries likely contributed to the visibility of Wrestlemania 1, which went on to become a massive success, cementing the WWF's place in pop culture. For Hogan, the incident was a double-edged sword. While it reinforced his image as a powerful, larger-than-life figure, it also exposed the risk of maintaining kayfabe in an era when wrestling's scripted nature was increasingly scrutinized. The cat was all but out of the bag at this point, so a large segment of people simply saw it as a big guy bullying a smaller guy because he was challenged by what the smaller man said. Belzer, for his part, continued his career, eventually becoming best known for his role as Detective John Munch on Homicide, Life on the Street, and Law & Order SVU. The incident, however, remained a defining moment of his life, one that he referenced in interviews and public appearances. When Belzer passed away in 2023 at the age of 78, tributes often mentioned the Hogan incident, underscoring its lasting impact. Hogan also would reflect on the event in his autobiography, Hollywood Hulk Hogan. He admitted to being pumped to the eyeballs with adrenaline during the interview and misjudging the situation. "I panicked when he went limp," Hogan wrote, expressing regret for the outcome. He also noted the pressure he felt to protect wrestling's image, a sentiment echoed by Linda McMahon in the 2024 Netflix docuseries Mr. McMahon, where she recalled Hogan mistaking Belzer's fall for a comedic pratfall. The Hogan-Belzer incident is more than a footnote in wrestling history. In the decades since, the incident has been referenced in discussions of kayfabe, wrestler accountability, and the evolution of wrestling's public image. If either man was still alive, undoubtedly they would still be commenting on it today, and it was odd when writing this segment that the fact is, the only one here still alive from WrestleMania 1's main event is the non-wrestler, Mr. T. Mr. T. Now there is a guy we could really make a Grapple Vision video about. Let us know down in the comments below if you would like to see a video from us about Mr. T or any other story from wrestling's checkered history, such as this one. And if you enjoyed this video, then let us know down in the comments below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. We're trying to get this channel up to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and the only way we're going to do it is with help from viewers like you. I'm Mr. Hartgrave from Parts Unknown, and we'll see you next time here on Grapple Vision.